Sundays, I know. Hey, I didn't come in with my regular video before the game because it's like I had to see the combine to see what's going to happen. So I couldn't stop myself. I said, Taryn, let's get it away at 5 o'clock. That'd be Taryn standing there, the man with the plan for the 2019 49ers. Taryn, what's up?
Nothing much. Glad to be back on. I think I haven't been back on since week 3, Kansas City game.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's been a
been.
while.
That was the last time we looked like a team, huh?
Yeah.
Taryn and I were just talking about that a little while ago. It's there's so many things to talk about. But Taryn first, he's gonna lay it out to you what he's got in mind for the 2019 season. He is today 49ers red and gold GM. Taryn, whenever you get ready, you jump right on in there, baby.
Oh yeah, no problem, Ronbo. Thank you. All right, Niner fam, how you guys doing? Glad to be back on the show. So let me get right to it. Well, first and foremost, I'm going to do my 49er free agents, ones who I feel like we need to resign. And it's kind of funny because I sent Rumble my list on Thursday, and my first one person on my list was Mike Person to a 2-year deal, but they already took care of that. So I'm already 1-for-1 on free agents.
Look out.
So, yep. So I had
Yeah.
Mike Person, yeah, I had Mike Person on a 2-year deal. They put him as a 3-year deal. So,
Mm,
he's 31 years old. So that's the reason why I put him at 2 years. But hey, if all goes well, if he plays the full 3 years out, I'm happy with that too. And
mm.
him coming back actually has our full starting 5 offensive line from last year. So, the continuity will be there. So,
Yes.
and that's big and that's huge. I don't think 49ers had that in a long time either. So all 5 starting
Years.
linemen coming back. So Jimmy G and McKinnon should be happy about that. So um, second free agent that I'm going to bring in, and this is probably my favorite re-signable player for the Niners. That's going to be Elijah Lee, linebacker. I think last half of the season he kind of came on,
Mm.
playing on that weak side. He looked really good. Hard to believe, he's only 23 years old, so still very young, hasn't hit in his prime yet. I really think him and Fred Warner are going to make some noise next year in that second unit. Like I said, and I want to bring him in on a 4-year, $12 million deal, $8 million guaranteed. So shore
Mm.
up our linebacking core at least for the you know before I add a third one.
Mm. Ooh,
Um,
hey, Taryn, let me hold you there. So I forgot to mention it. If you have any questions, hashtag Q question, and I'll relay it to Taryn immediately. All right, Taryn.
yeah, no problem. My third player I'm bringing back Bradley Pinion, punter. Um, Before the season starts, he'll be 25 years old, so still a young guy, big. I think everybody's kind of down on him, saying that we can upgrade at punter, but I like Bradley Pinion. I think he'll be fine for us. I'm bringing him back on a 3-year deal for 1.8 million. Averages out about 600,000 a season. I think he's a pretty solid punter, and I'd rather bring him back. He knows the system. Any trick plays we have on special teams. I think he'll be okay. Hopefully, we don't have to punt this much this year anyway, with with a
Yes.
full arsenal. So yeah. Um, the fourth person I want to bring back is going to be Raheem Mostert. Had that arm injury that was pretty gruesome, but he's a special teams ace. I love Mostert. Before he had that injury, he was coming on at running back as well. So I really like him. Very fast guy, a sure tackler on special teams. Bringing him back on a 3-year, $2 million deal. I think, might be shortchanging him a little bit, but he's strictly a third string or special teams type of guy. So I think that's a good deal for him. So, and show some loyalty, somebody who's worked hard to be where he's at. So, um, fifth person I'm bringing in, um, he's not a player that's going to wow you, but I'm going to bring back Mark Zacha on a 1-year deal. When the season starts, he'll be 29 years old. Not still kind of a young guy. I'm only going to bring him back on a 1-year deal, league minimum.
You, Taryn, is he almost 30 years old? I know he was that old.
Well, he's 28 right now. The ages I'm saying is the people. That's the age are going to be when the season starts.
No, I had no
So
idea he
yeah,
was that old. He's been around a while, I guess. Okay,
yeah, he's been
good.
around. Yeah, I think he even got drafted. He only been drafted at 2015. He got drafted at pretty old, like 24, 25 years old. So he was a
Ah,
he was, he
okay.
was an older guy when he got drafted. So
Ah.
yeah, and so that's pretty much it right now. I know so it's going to be some things shaken up with free agency and stuff like that. I'm sure there's going to be some more stuff going on. But right now, those are the five personnel that I bring back for sure as far as 49er free agents. Is there any questions so far? Or?
Yeah, it seems you rung some bells with Elijah Lee's contract. Nobody's actually asked questions, but I see the question marks throughout the chat. I don't know. Amplify on that. Why bringing Elijah Lee back? Go ahead. I've got something I want to say about that too. But go ahead.
I don't know. I think well, from what I saw, and everybody has their own opinion of playmaking ability, but I saw Elijah Lee play pretty solid. I mean, he was making some pretty sure tackles. You know, he's a fast linebacker. We need a little bit more speed in that, you know, in our second unit. Fred Warner's already a monster. He's going to be a beast. But I think Elijah Lee played pretty well. Not bringing him back really expensive. Like I said, only 23. He just turned 23 last month. I'm only bringing him back, you know. Yes, it's only $8 million guaranteed. Yes, sir.
Taryn, hold on. Taryn, hold on a second. There's an issue here. Hold on a second.
Yep.
You're watching the screen right now. We're having a little tech problem there. I'm saying, make Jared.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
No, I mean, those folks. I hope they can still hear us actually. But Taryn, I tell you, man, I'm liking this so far. Hold on a second here. This is the first time we had a tech problem right in the middle of this. I think we're back. All right. Darren. Okay. All right, Darren. Hey, Phil. Hey. Darren, go ahead and continue with your reasoning behind Elijah Lee. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how much you guys heard, but I really think he's a solid player. Like I said, the man just turned 23. I think he was coming into a zone towards the end of the year. Last 5 or 6 games, he played pretty solid. He was making some pretty sure tackles. He's quick. You know, I think the $12 million is probably thinking like, oh, we're gonna bring him $12 million, but I only have him getting $8 million guaranteed. So, you know, on average, $2 million a year. I think that's pretty solid for a starting linebacker. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they think it's too much, but we have the money to spend, and I think we need to spend it wisely. I don't want to overspend for people, but I think somebody who knows the scheme, who started, you know, the last few games, played pretty well. Him and Fred Warner played off each other pretty well. So I think it's a pretty solid deal.
I agree. I love his athleticism. He hustles. And in fact, it had it been up to me, and maybe 49ers coaches may have thought differently, I would have put him at I think he could have handled Sam a little better. If they're not going to let Mark play and they insist on Malcolm Smith getting time, put Smith where he could do the most good over at the will. He was getting smoked at the Sam. Elijah Lee's got the athleticism to cover. A lot better than Malcolm Smith. Even if anybody has any questions about Elijah Lee's coverage abilities, he's a lot better than Malcolm Smith. So I was getting tired of Malcolm Smith real quick. So, but anyway, all right. And also, Flux Gaming says, do we draft a left tackle and let Staley mentor him until his time is done? You know what? I'm going to let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and continue. We're going to the draft is coming up right after free agency. If you have any free agency questions right now, let's focus on that. But if you have any draft questions, hold on to those. But you can put them up now. We'll get them up, but we won't respond to it just yet. All right, continue. Darren.
All right. From what I was saying, those are the 5 people that I would bring back for sure. You know, after looking at everything. So some stuff that we could probably bring back later after we look at other free agents. But as far as my 5 most people I would re-sign from the Niners, it'd be those 5 guys.
All right.
So as far as my cuts, I'm getting rid of Malcolm Smith.
I was just talking about him.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get rid of Dakota Watson as well.
Oh, man, I think those guys are easy to be replaced.
Yeah, they can be replaced. Yeah, so those 2 is the 2 cuts that I'd get rid of for sure. So, okay, so free agency. I know 49er fans have high hopes for these high-priced free agents, but I'm not going to spend too much money, and it's for 2 reasons. One, before free agency even starts, if it was up to me, I'm re-signing DeForest Buckner. He's getting an extension ASAP. He should have got it yesterday. That's how fast he should have been getting an extension. He played 3 full seasons already. He's been, best defender on our team, and I'm shocked they haven't gave him an extension yet. I know he had to play 3 full seasons before he got one, but season's over with, so they need to be negotiating contracts right now. So we have to pay that man. And next year we got to pay George Kittle. So you have to. I don't want to eat up all the cap space because we have to save some for our players that have been dominating for our team. So you got to take care of home first, in my opinion. So I'm not going to bring in too many high-priced ones, but ones that I feel can help our team. So first free agent I'm going to bring in is going to be linebacker Anthony Barr, 27 years old. I'm bringing him on a 5-year deal. I think it'd be worth it. $35 million guaranteed. So, average about $7 million a year for Anthony Barr. I think you bring him in. He's pretty versatile. He can rush the passer. He struggled this year in coverage, but I know we have Fred Warner, who's a great coverage linebacker. But I think if you bring in Anthony Barr, you have Anthony Barr, Fred Warner, and Elijah Lee, to be the linebackers, the lineup behind that front four. I think that'd be perfect. We have the speed, we have the size, we have the rushing ability that would make a pretty stellar linebacking core. So he'd be the first one I'd bring in. So he'd probably be the high price one. He's not even on the top 10 list for free agents, but all the ones that are up there, Davion County, D Ford, all them guys are getting tagged.
Already been. And, you know what's so funny? I'm surprised all of them haven't been tagged. Some of these guys are going to wait until the last 1 hour before the deadline. All right, he's tagged.
I think what it is too. I think with these higher price guys, I think a lot of the teams are trying to negotiate like a long-term deal. So if they can't come up with one, they're going to do it. But people got to realize too, the Colts have the most money to spend, over $100 million. It's going to be hard to compete with them. One, because they're already a playoff team. They're not too far from being a Super Bowl contender. So with them having that much money to spend, Andrew Luck, I think it's going to be hard for them. To be honest, if you're a free agent and you had a chance to go to the Colts, the Niners, it's going to be a tough decision, and the Colts have more money. So if they offer you more, you're going to go to a team that's already in the playoffs. So if that makes sense.
Yeah, so they win that division next year.
Oh yeah. And they were supposed to go 5. They were predicted 5-11 last year. They went 10-6. So. Andrew Luck coming back is just a huge difference. So that's the reason why I don't think it's going to be hard for us to bring in these high-price free agents, in my opinion, until we show that we can be a good team. So my second free agent is defensive end / linebacker Zadarius Smith, 27 years old, from the Baltimore Ravens. He plays defensive end and linebacker, but he does play with his hand in the ground. Great, pretty good pass rusher. He's last year he had 8.5 sacks on that defense. He had his best year. He's starting to come around. He has 12 sacks in the last 2 years, and he's gotten better every year, and he's just hitting his prime. I think if you sign him to line up on one of the defensive end spots, is going to add some pass rush to our defense.
Yes,
so, and like I said, I'm gonna bring him in on a 4-year, $28 million deal with 20 guaranteed. So.
Good move.
So that helps the front four, and also helps our linebacking core with these two moves. So
hey, it's so funny you mentioned Zadarius. Brilliant move, because Zadarius is the odd man out. They're gonna bring back, what is that fool's name is coming back for his 16th or 17th year?
You talking about Terrell Suggs?
Yeah, Terrell's coming. I said, Terrell, man, let somebody else play. I'm laughing because I'm thinking, if he was effective last year, I guess, to a degree. I mean, he had one of the best defenses in the league. But then there's Darius sitting there, man, I can't get no love around here, man. Terrell, how many more years? Who are you supposed to be imitating? Tom Brady? Come on, man. So, Terrell's coming back, and who's on the other side? They got 2 guys. And then you got,
Yeah, well, they have. I'm not really sure who their defensive linemen are anymore. There've been so much movement going on, but I know.
Zadarius was the odd man out, but he's got talent. Yeah. That just shows you how good their defense is, though.
Yeah,
But
they're pretty good. C.J. Mosley, and they have that.
oh
What's his name? That Grady Jackson or whatever his name is. I can't.
yeah,
The defensive lineman. They're pretty good. I mean,
yeah,
but yeah, he is the
they're
odd man
tough.
out, and I think with him barely hitting his prime, he has excellent size,
Upside.
6'4", 6'4", 270, and like I said, he had 8.5 sacks
Beast
last year. So
size.
he's coming on. He's coming on. And he's kind of an under the radar guy. Nobody really talks about him much. So
Yeah.
which is kind of scary in a way because I hope nobody slides in and takes him.
I
But I think
know,
it's excellent.
cause
Yeah, I think it's an
cause you
excellent
saw
move.
him,
Go ahead.
and I saw him last week on the list. Or about a week ago, I saw Zadarius. This is Zadarius. This
Hmm.
guy's got potential. And like you
He
said,
does.
does anybody notice? Yeah.
No.
All right. Go
So
ahead.
yeah, so I think that's a pretty solid move. Um, and my third free agent I'm bringing in is cornerback slash free safety, versatile guys. Eric Rowe from the Patriots. When the season starts, he'll be 26 years old.
Ooh,
Um, 6'1", 205, can play corner and safety both pretty effectively. He's a two-time champion, so he has
pedigree.
he's yeah, exactly, playoff pedigree. He's seasoned, so I think that'd be a good move for us. I'm bringing him in on a 3-year, $15 million deal with only $9 million of it guaranteed, so average about $3 million a year
Yeah.
for somebody with his versatility. And honestly,
Mm.
I'd rather bring him in than bring back Jimmy Ward personally.
Yeah. Jimmy,
So I
Jimmy,
think if you're gonna,
Jimmy.
yeah, if you're gonna bring back somebody who's versatile, like they
Mm,
always preach versatility. Shanahan said he likes his versatility. Eric
mm,
Rowe is better than Jimmy Ward. He doesn't get hurt.
mm.
So
And Jimmy hasn't. Jimmy, I don't know if Jimmy's getting. He's been. I don't know if he's been offered yet, but Jimmy hasn't said whether he thinks that's acceptable or not. But I wonder, So you're right to plan on filling that void. So
mhm.
yeah,
And I know John Lynch and Shanahan love that versatility, people that can play multiple positions. So, I mean, you're seeing it with DJ Reed and seeing it with Adrian Colbert. He can line up at corner if you wanted to. Then you have Tavarius Moore. So they like that
yeah.
versatility. Somebody
Who
you can
used to
switch
play
guys around
safety?
and stuff. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, and then my fourth free agent I'm bringing in is going to be, I think he'll help out at red zone woes. He has size. I know they want a big receiver, but this guy will help. It's going to be tight end Austin Safarian Jenkins.
There's a name, a household
Yeah,
name at this point,
yeah,
especially with
yeah,
that name.
yeah. I know. He's 26 years old. Bringing him on a 2-year, $3 million deal with $2 million of it guaranteed. 2 years ago with the Jets, he had a very solid season with Josh McCown. He tried to play his cards with like Eric Ebron did and sign a 1-year deal, 1-year prove it deal with Jacksonville. Didn't work out that way because he has Blake Bortles at quarterback. So and then that whole team just struggled offensively. Jacksonville, everybody was shocked at how they played last year. It wasn't very good. So he signed a 1-year deal thinking he can go out there and dominate and get a nice contract, but it didn't work out for him that way. So I think if we can bring him in, he's 6'6", 265, a pretty solid runner. You line him and George Kittle up on both sides in that red zone. It's gonna be a tough cover
Mm,
because you get Austin Safarian Jenkins in that red zone. He's out jumping most people, and George
mm,
Kittle, I mean, speaks for itself. You
mm,
know,
mm.
Dante Pettis, great route runner. He's started coming around. So I think bringing him in would help. Garrett Selleck, he's still pretty good. I wouldn't mind keeping him around still, but he'll be 31 when the season starts. He's a great blocker. Don't really scare anybody offensively catching the ball, but I would still like to keep him around. But I
Mm.
think if your main two tight ends are George Kittle and Austin Safarian Jenkins, and you line them both up at the same time, plus you got Kyle Juszczyk coming out sometimes, I think that's a pretty scary offense. So,
Mm, mm.
and then so this is probably the move I'm going to be criticized for the most. This trade I'm going to make. Um,
Oh,
so everybody wants a number one receiver. I get it. Everybody wants a household name.
oh.
Julio, Julio Jones, Michael Thomas, Calvin Johnson. Them fools don't grow on trees. Okay, those are hard to get. Those guys are hard to evaluate. And they don't come around too often. DeAndre Hopkins, all these players.
Yeah.
We pick second in the draft. I'm not going receiver number 2 overall. There's no receiver. There's no Megatron, Julio Jones, AJ Green in this draft. Now DK Metcalf might look like them,
Hey,
but
boy, he
he's not.
does.
but he's not there. He's not as good. So I'm not taking a receiver that early. If we trade down, possibility, but I just think if we stay at 2, if there's a great pass rusher, you have to stay there. At 36, our second pick, yeah, we can get a good receiver. Don't really know if it's going to be a number 1.
Oh, wait.
You got to
Wait.
pick.
You started your draft already. I just realized. You
No,
know
no,
what?
no. I'm not starting my draft.
Okay.
I'm just telling. Yeah, I'm just saying. At 36, you have your Riley Ridleys. You have your Debo Samuel's probably going to be there, which would probably be great value. Could be number 1. Who knows? But in my opinion, I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 67th overall, 3rd round pick, and I'm trading it to Cincinnati for John Ross.
Ooh.
So I'm taking that for John Ross. Let me tell you why.
Yes, you're right. That's going to draw attention.
Oh, it will. People are not going to like it. Oh, he's too small. He's 5'11", and I don't care about that. So, yes, I know he's been injured, but I think him having to change his scenery and getting with Kyle Shanahan, I think Kyle Shanahan and Wes Welker can turn this man into the top 10 pick like he was drafted.
Oh, whoa.
You remember?
I forgot about Wes in this situation because I don't think the coaching staff at Cincinnati. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
right.
Tyler Boyd. I mean, you look at Tyler Boyd; he did great. But I think John Ross. I don't know. Maybe they're just not using him correctly, whatever the case may be. Kyle Shanahan, arguably top 3 play caller in the league. So I think you bring him in. He runs great routes. People think he's a go route person. This is incorrect. He can run routes. I think if you can pair him up with him and Marquise Goodwin, you'll have the 2 of the top 3 fastest receivers in football.
I want to see that relay race going downfield.
Oh man!
So I want to see the defensive backs trying to keep up.
So I think you bring him in, and to me, John Ross with the 3rd round pick, 67th overall, is better value than Debo Samuel and Riley Ridley at 36, in my opinion. He's still on his rookie deal. He's not going to break the bank for us financially. Yeah, everybody's talking about trading for Odell Beckham. That's $20 million out of your salary cap gone. Antonio Brown, I don't like that comment he just made. Said I don't have to play football. I'm not feeling that. Like, where's your passion at? Did you hear about that, Ronbo? Him saying
that?
I
was watching that. Yeah. As he's sitting there talking about this is all paid for, I don't need to play no football.
Yeah.
And they go play by my rules. As soon as he
I
said
don't like
they got to play by my rules, AB, that's
Yeah.
too much. So yeah.
And then and what's funny, Ronbo, is people say, "Oh, we need a big receiver." I bet you if we traded for Odell Beckham, it wouldn't be an issue. He's 5'11", he ain't big.
Antonio ain't. What? How tall is Antonio?
Brown's not big. Antonio Brown's 5'10". He's smaller than John Ross. And I'm not putting John Ross on their level. He's not even close. But I truly believe him being 5'11", 190 is decent size. You have a 3 receiver set with Pettis, Goodwin, and Ross. That's going to be scary, especially with George Kittle and McKinnon in the backfield.
Oh, that's so much speed. And
that's a lot of speed.
Shanahan was looking at John Ross in his draft year too.
I know. So yeah, people probably don't like that, but that's just my opinion. I'd rather have 3rd round pick John Ross, somebody who's still young, and he'll only be 24 when the season starts. He's still young. Him and Pettis are the same age. 24-year-old receiver. They can learn from Wes Welker, a route technician. And I really truly believe Kyle Shanahan getting his hands on John Ross with Jimmy G, he can turn him into a weapon. And I'd rather pay him. What's up? Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and Taryn, Shanahan has a long-running tradition on making receivers that nobody took seriously and turning them into gold. So this is a smart move, actually.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you figure, I'd rather have, paying him I don't know what he's making, maybe $7 million a year than paying Antonio Brown $20 million, eating up all our cap space and not focusing on other needs. So that's just my opinion. So that's on my list for free agency plus trade. So that's how I would take care of it. You got your receiver who may not be the number 1, but him being on the team does open things up. I added us another tight end, helped us with the red zone. Secondary, and I added all levels of the defense in free agency.
Now, let's hit the questions. I'm gonna run over it. Well, okay. Let's go ahead and go over that. Players who will be signed: Elijah Lee, 4 years, $12 million, with $8 million guarantee. Bradley Pinion, 3-year deal. I'll be worth 1.8 million. And offensive lineman Mike Person, 2 years and 4 million. Raheem Mostert, 3-year deal worth 2 million, of which I would have to suggest, can we give him some incentives? Because that boy, he stepped in to play running back. I was impressed. Linebacker Mark Ziota, he says a 1-year deal worth league minimum. And the cut list includes Malcolm Smith and also Dakota Watson. Goodbye, guys. All right. Now, let's potential free agent signings. We didn't finish that. Also, the potential free agent signings include linebacker Anthony Barr, a 5-year deal, $45 million with a $35 million guarantee. The defensive end Zadarius Smith, 4 years, $22 million with a $16 million guarantee. And cornerback Eric Rowe, 3 years, $15 million with a $9 million guarantee. And tight end Austin Safarian Jenkins, 2 years, $2 million, all guaranteed. There it is. All right. Huh? Okay. There's a trade here. Number 60 overall for the John Ross deal. That's overall that's okay. Trade number 67. I see now. Overall, the Bengals for wide receiver John Ross. All right, Darren. Shucks, man. As I say, I'd give Raheem just a little bit more, and I'd put some incentives in his pocket. Sure. As a Raheem, every time you go down and drop a guy below the 25-yard line, we're going to add a few dollars for that. If you should be hustled into service in our backfield, I'm going to add for every yard X amount. I'd have Raheem like so pumped up coming in the season. Although, Raheem, I don't want you standing on the sideline rooting for Matty B to go down in flames. We got some questions over here. Let me get these. You know what you actually address is Jordan Kelly wants to know, do you want Mr. Big Chest? You go ahead in case Jordan missed that. And you know who Mr. Big Chest is, right? That's Antonio. Antonio was working out, and he's very proud of his chest. And he renamed himself on Instagram Mr. Big Chest.
Oh, yeah.
Antonio's
I don't have Instagram. Lately. I didn't hear about that. But no, I addressed that. No, his comments rubbed me the wrong way. I don't have to play football. You're going to play by my rules. It's like, no.
Yeah, he's also asking for guaranteed monies and everything. I don't know. Yeah. Antonio's kind of scared. And he's, I wonder if he's going to play now because I don't think the Steelers are going to bring him back in any capacity. They need to deal him. This is why I said if you really want Antonio Brown, you wait till draft night until around the 4th round. You call Colbert up and say, Colbert, yeah, you still want to get rid of Antonio? I got the 4th round pick coming up. Take it or leave it. If he hesitates, okay, I'm gone. So, NFC West Nemesis says Mostert's getting RFA tag worth 2nd pick.
Wow. That just shows his value.
Oh, all right. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Matthew Stroder says, this is the kind of retort. Well, anyway, out of DeMarcus Lawrence, Trey Flowers, and Clowney, who would be the best fit out of that trio?
DeMarcus Lawrence, I think. He's probably the most fearless pass rusher on the market right now. To me, he's better than Jadeveon Clowney, and he stays healthy. So,
And you know what, Jadeveon needs to be careful because we saw his stock drop as rookie Quentin Nelson manhandled him in that playoff game. Quentin just abused Jadeveon. I was shocked and kind of lost my feel for him at that point. I said, damn, look at Quentin just handled Jadeveon. There's not a lot of Quentin Nelsons, but still, what if we got into a situation with the Colts? Jadeveon will go into mental block, and that'd be over. But by the way, you mentioned DeMarcus Lawrence. They're trying to work out a deal. They say they probably will not have anything worked out by Tuesday. So, DL, it's going to be interesting to see what happens to him. Right? By the way, you can vote in the app right now. Go to the app. You'll see the poll there. Whether you appreciate today's Red Gold GM, if you think he's worth getting into that office and making things happen or not. Flux Gaming says, any way we can improve our offensive line through this free agency. And a lot of people do feel that the offensive line is still inadequate. Taryn, you want to address that?
Um, yeah, I think so. Well, I kind of helped it out by bringing back one of our own people. Before it was announced today, I had Mike Person coming back on a 2-year deal. So I think that helps out a lot. And I would also look at our draft picks too to bring another interior lineman or tackle in. So yeah, it does need to be addressed. We need some more depth.
Yeah. But as far as the first string goes, our offensive line, I think it was ranked not bad, actually.
Yeah.
A lot of people are confused by the fact that the quarterbacks, uh, Jimmy G, they had a little problem at the beginning of the season, but Jimmy G is not going to be stressing that offensive line. I think he's got the plan down now. The playbook's going to be changed. We're going to see a different offensive line next year. Those guys working
Yes.
together longer periods of time is going to be more important than keep shuttling in new players all the time to the offensive line, which we've already proven is not effective. It's like Michael
And
Gitche
like we,
said.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like Michael Gitche said at the end of the year. The good thing is we all work together and put a whole year in together. Offensive lines, some people are confused into thinking you bring in a new guy, he's going to be better than the last guy. Bring in a couple of new guys, which is really the biggest damage you can do to an offensive line because now they got to come in and incorporate their skills, develop the continuity you speak of with the guy next to him, and this takes time. If you keep the same guys together, Thomason did a good job, was ranked by PFF. All of our guys are ranked by PFF at least one time or another. So it's not exactly about their skill set as you look at, as much as it is learning Kyle's system, learning to work together, knowing what he's going to be doing. Well, I know what I'm going to be doing because I know him well enough now to know. Weston Richburg was a question mark. I do understand the complaints about him. But that guy, when he's healthy, is pretty good. He's evil. You know he's got an attitude. He's the kind of guy that's going to protect Jimmy G even if he gets thrown out of the game doing so. So, yeah. All right. Let me. Oh, NFC West nemesis also says Dallas can't pay Earl Thomas. 49ers now are the number one favorite. All right. Thanks, NFC West. Nemesis post that one up. Thanks for contribution too. Gohard says thoughts on Justin Houston as a Leo, Taryn.
Mm, yeah, he's not bad. I mean, I don't know how much money he would command, but he's getting up there in age too. I mean, he's a beast. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know if he'd be the right fit for us. I think honestly, I'd go with Zadarius Smith more. He's younger, and I think he's just hitting his prime, so he has plenty of upside. So, but I wouldn't mind bringing him in if the money was right for sure.
You know, this next question is interesting because Joe Staley, who's the guy from Alabama, the offensive lineman?
Oh, you talking about the one that was at the combine?
Yeah.
I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm laughing because the next question
Jonah
is
something, right?
Jonas.
Jonah?
Jonas, what's Jonas like? Anyway, Jonah Williams. Yeah,
Jonah Williams, yeah.
Jonah Williams is actually working out right now with Joe Staley. Isn't that ironic? But anyway, the question is, do we draft a left tackle and let Staley mentor him until his time is done in San Francisco?
Quite possibly. I think we
Yeah.
might do that. Yeah, but I honestly I think Mike McGlinchey's going to take over that spot.
The left side, yeah.
I think so. I think if anything, we'll bring in somebody that plays right tackle, have them sit the bench and groom them, and then when Staley finally hangs the cleats up, we just move McGlinchey over to left tackle. That's my thoughts.
And the nice thing about that plan is that kid gets to sit and watch two tacticians. I mean, McGlinchey is going to be even better next year. I'm convinced of that.
Yes.
And then Staley that's Joe Staley. Any kid learning from Staley for a couple of seasons, boy, moves over to right tackle or watches McGlinchey, man, that would be a master plan. Actually, that saying, love it when a good plan comes together. That would be absolutely, whew. And Graphic Kick says, okay, what are your thoughts on Amos from Chicago?
He's good. Adrian Amos is very good. But I think our safeties and everybody looks down on our secondary, but your secondary is only as good as your pass rush. plain and simple. So with no pass rush, I mean, anybody's going to get beat. So
Mm-hmm.
I think we fixed that in free agency and the draft. I think Witherspoon plays better. I think Adrian Colbert plays better. I think he goes back to rookie form where he was just out there laying the hat to everybody. And yeah, I think we're okay. Marcel Harris has some talent. So I think we'll be okay. And then, like I said too, the way they draft with the DJ Reed and Tavarius Moore and stuff, if all need be, they can go back and play safety. So I think we're okay at depth there. I'm not,
Yeah.
I wouldn't try to break the bank at like Earl Thomas and Tyrann Mathieu and all them, because you see what Earl Thomas said. He was like, "Well, I'm not gonna give Dallas a hometown discount. I'm the best safety. I need to get paid like it." So he's looking for money.
Yeah, he's.
But
Did he say 13? He said 13 mil.
is that what he said? Yeah, yeah, 'cause that's
Yeah,
what Eric Berry makes. So I think he wants equal to what
the
Eric
Eric's
Berry
pay.
has, or then some. But don't get me wrong, I like Adrian Amos. He's very solid.
You got, and there's a choice between Clinton Dix as well, and also DJ
He's good too.
Reed. I wonder. DJ seems to be doing better in the slot than he does at safety, though, huh?
Yes, he does. He does.
Yeah.
Mm.
Also, Quest for Six wants to know why signs Zadarius over Flowers. What are your feelings on that?
Um, I don't know. I looked at them both. I mean, I like the way you think, because I do like Trey Flowers. I just think Trey Flowers is going to command more money. And I think, I mean, hopefully, like I said, like at the beginning of the show, I really hope that they do pay DeForest Buckner. He deserves a huge contract. And then with Eric Armstead making $9 million a year for 2019, bringing in somebody, Trey Flowers is going to command probably double digits per year. He's probably going to ask for $10 million. And
Minimum.
I don't see us paying him that much money, especially like I said with DeForest Buckner, and then we have next year you got George Kittle you have to pay. So I'm not trying to eat up all our salary cap. So that's just my opinion.
I'll tell you something else too. Flowers is going to go be with the assistant coach from the Patriots has went over to Miami. Rumor is that Flowers is really wanting to get together with his old coach. And Bill Belichick is probably saying, "Go ahead, I'm not paying you any more money." We can just watch Bill Belichick. If he's got any gems than the last season, just wait him out. Maybe talk to him a little bit in advance. Okay, that would be league tampering. But still, Belichick does not care who you are. If your name's not Tom Brady or Edelman, or he's got a core group of guys, it's like a fruit tree. You can just pick you can just harvest the Patriots roster. Bill does not pay people. And it's worked for him, so why would he quit?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Jacques wants to know if Frank Gore is a free agent, would you sign him? Oh, Jacques! Oh, my God!
To bring him back as a Niner in a heartbeat.
Yeah, good.
I love me some Frank Gore. Love me some Frank Gore. Yeah, I definitely bring him back.
See, and they talk about that bruising back that the 49ers might get, might need for those goal line situations. Kyle Shanahan doesn't like to get in those situations anyway. Kyle likes to scheme up into the end zone, so he doesn't like to run the ball. But if he had Frank Gore is the only running back you'll ever see that can say hi to the ants as he's coming down through there. Frank can get so low underneath the line of scrimmage that I love watching him do that. Frank would be that goal line dude. You're 3 yards out, give the ball to Frank. Like we should have done in the Super Bowl that we lost.
Yeah.
Oh, don't bring that memory back. Oh, my God. Oh, God, Coach. Okay. Anyway. I should have brought that up. Hey, Taryn, let's go ahead and get into that draft, man.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. So, as you know, I gave away our third round pick to the Cincinnati Bengals for John Ross, so we no longer have one.
Right.
So that we did get the compensatory pick, so it still leaves us with 5 instead of 6 now with the trade. So, second overall pick. This is a tough one because I really do hope the Cardinals take Kyler Murray. That'd be a dream come true.
It's done.
Go ahead. Yeah, I think it's done. So to me, everybody's, it's tough because, what's funny is the 4 defensive linemen are all tough. Like they can all go second, third, fourth, fifth, or in a row, whatever, and nobody really complain because I think they're all are great. Rashawn Gary, Quentin Williams, Josh Allen, Nick Bosa, all of them are great. But the best player, best pass rusher in this draft is Nick Bosa. If he's there at number 2, you shouldn't even take time off the clock. Just write his name down on the paper, take it to the podium.
Agreed.
Don't play no games. Because you know what? Nick Bosa is the type of person, if you pass on him, he can get you fired. Seriously, he has that much talent. Everybody, he has little injury problems and stuff. Yeah, I get it. But I think with somebody of that talent,
you roll the dice.
Just too big. And two, you figure it at Ohio State, he got double coverage a lot. People double teamed him a lot, and he still got through. If we get Zadarius Smith along with DeForest Buckner and DJ Jones, Eric Armstead, Solomon Thomas, whoever's on the line to go at Nick Bosa, you can't double team anybody.
That's what I'm saying. I wish they would double team Nick out there, please. DeForest Buckner go buck wild.
Absolutely.
Good.
Yeah, and Zadarius Smith. Yeah, so you can't, what's funny is, with Bosa and DeForest Buckner, even if you do try to double team one of them, you figure whoever's playing interior at the time. And that's what I like about our D line because we're pretty solid defensively on that line, and we can interchange pieces and stuff to keep them fresh. You can have DeForest Buckner come out for a couple snaps, throw in Julian Taylor, Solomon Thomas, whoever you want to put in there for a couple of snaps, take DeForest Buckner back in. That's what I love about our D line. There's a lot of depth there. Ronald Blair, there's a lot of depth. Yeah. But I think if you have a starting D line with Nick Bosa, DeForest Buckner, Zadarius Smith, and let's just say Armstead or whatever, or that's nasty.
Oh yes,
that's nasty.
And people, a lot of people confusing speed with technique. Nick Bosa's got more hand techniques than a kung fu master. This is why I want him that bad. Like I said, dude, man, you're not going to just block Nick out of a play. Nick's coming in. That's the thing I like about him. Speed guys can be contained. Jadeveon Clowney found out. Quentin Nelson caught him like a football when he come running in there at 100 miles an hour, lifting him all up in the air, and then put pancakes out there. So this is why I want a guy that can go through there and karate dude to death and get past him, which is what actually our boy Solomon Thomas was working on last year, but I don't know what happened to him this past year. But we'll see. Solomon may come in a little better this year. All right. There it is. I agree. And the number 2 overall pick, as Terrence announced it already. Go ahead, Terrence.
Everybody was looking at his 40 time today. He ran a 4.8. So what his 10-yard split was like 1.1 or I don't know, something fast where he was like top 3. So that's really what you're looking at for a defensive end anyway. Defensive end's not running 40 yards. They're running 10 yards to get to that quarterback.
Short burst.
Exactly. Short burst, and that's what he has. And like you said, he is a technician. His hand placement's really good. I mean, he sheds block. He's great. So I think you have to take him if he's there at 2. I think that's a no-brainer. So, and then what I have with the 36th overall pick, I'm going Chris Lindstrom, offensive guard from Boston College. 22 years old, 6'4", 312 pounds, very strong. He's kind of on the smaller side of, for offensive guard, and that's what Kyle Shanahan likes. He likes guards who can move.
Get out
and
space.
I think Chris Lindstrom just ran under a 5 flat in the 40. I think he ran like a 4.91 or something, which that just means that he has some movement. So I think that's a great pick. It'll address the offensive line in case we have an injury, Laken Tomlinson or Mike Person get hurt, and then in 2 years or next year, he can replace Mike Person if need be, and the offensive line can't skip a beat. So I go with him. To me, in that second round, top of the second, he'd probably be the best person available as far as offensive line. So that's who I'm taking with the second round pick, 36th overall.
All right.
So as I said earlier, our third rounder is gone. Fourth rounder, he might go a little earlier, but he's had some injury concerns, but he played for Alabama's defense, had 8 sacks last year. I'm going Christian Miller, linebacker from Alabama, 6'4", 240. He got hurt in the Orange Bowl, I believe. He had a hamstring injury, but he's one of the linebackers on that team that didn't get much publicity, I guess you can say. But he's a sure tackler. I like him. He's fast. adds depth to our linebacking core. So I'm going with him. And
And
anybody,
six,
it's funny because anybody that plays linebacker from Alabama could probably go any other school and start for
I know
sure. You know.
Saban be putting out the hey, but 6'4". This
Yes.
reflects upon where the NFL is going, and football's evolving it anyway. Because now the smaller guy that can't get back in coverage because he doesn't have a lot of size, he's just a mauler. That individual's leaving the game, isn't he?
Hmm.
So I see where your choice is coming from. All right.
All right. So we don't have a fifth round pick, so I'm going straight to the sixth round. I'm going Jamal Peters, cornerback from Mississippi State, 6'1", 215 pounds. He's a big corner, very physical, comes from the SEC. I think we
Yep.
just add some more depth to our secondary. So I think he'd be a good fit. And then last pick in the sixth round, and our final pick is going to be Tyler Romer, offensive tackle from San Diego State. 6'7", 315 pounds. Once again, a very agile offensive lineman. Played right and left tackle, so I think you bring him in. And San Diego State's like a run-heavy team. They like to run the football. So he's already polished in that aspect. If you can get him up to having great pass pass blocking ability, I think he'd be very good. He's one who I think can sit on the bench for a year or two, whatever Staley decides to hang it up. Probably 2 years from now, I'd say Staley hangs it up, and he can be groomed to take over for McGlinchey at right, so McGlinchey can move to left. So
Yeah, because he's definitely on his way to that.
that's
Hey, did McGlinchey? What position did he play at Notre Dame? He played right next to Nelson. Were they both on the right side or left side?
I think they're both on the left side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your best ones come out of college usually on the left, and then when they come into the pros, the pro set they've usually already got a guy on the left side. So
Yes.
they generally do come up into the right side. So
Yeah.
I wonder how much that's an adjustment for those guys.
Yeah. I mean, it's rare you get somebody like a Joe Thomas that comes in and dominates a left tackle right away. That's a rare case. But
Yeah.
but you're right. For the most part, somebody will usually play right tackle for a year, or even if it's 8 games, they just get their feet wet, play right tackle, and then they move over to left. So
Taryn, and the question is probably still going around because it seems Trent Brown is going to be available. Did you think about Trent Brown? I thought about Trent Brown, but then I realized, well, what do you think about Trent Brown returning to San Francisco? He's probably burnt all his bridges with the 49ers, but still.
yeah. Well, they traded him for a reason. I don't think he fits their mold for offensive linemen, but I don't think he'd want to come back anyway.
I know.
He's probably tired of them telling him to stop eating so much, get in shape. So I don't think he'd want to come back. I mean, unless they just throw out a money offer he couldn't refuse. Because money talks to anybody. So
yeah, true.
But I truly think that I don't think he'd come back, and I don't think they want him back anyway. So
because Tom, I don't know, Staley's not. Tom's protection, man. Trent Brown protected him really well, and that's why I was so scared when he left Jimmy G year before last. I said, oh man, with him there, G will never get hit from the right side ever.
Yeah.
And my shoulder, I got to go get attended to. Oh, man. I think that pissed the 49ers off. But yeah, I'm concerned with the longevity of some of the offensive linemen we got, and also that if any of them go down, I want a solid piece in there. But Trent's not going to sit on the bench either, so there's nothing.
Yeah.
But also, Brown does not like to get out in space and do a lot of work. When we saw Mike McGlinchey run all the way from the line of scrimmage to escort Raheem Mostert into the end zone,
Yes.
I said, that's a new breed of offensive lineman. Mike ran all the way down the field knocking people out. Mostert followed him brilliantly. I mean, that was one of the most amazing things I've seen in a long time. So, yeah, we need those kind of offensive linemen.
Yeah, and Trent Brown ain't doing that.
No, no.
He's gonna make sure he does his job, but if the running back gets past the line of scrimmage, he's staying right where he's at.
He did his job right. But unless, if you ever see the Popeye cartoons, if somebody would stand down in the end zone with a plate like a mountain full of hamburgers, you might get Trent to come on down then.
Maybe.
Trent! Oh, man, he's been knocking people out all the way down the field. Rasta Raze says, have you considered taking Michael Jordan at guard, a center in the draft?
Yeah, he was actually on my list. I like him too. Talking about the guy from I think he's Ohio State, right?
Mm.
Yeah, I like that guy. He's a really good lineman too. But I think Chris Lindstrom fits the mold a little bit better than him. But you can't go wrong with either one of them. I do like both offensive linemen.
Yeah. Let me, let me, I guess we should do the drafting first before we go into any questions here. First round pick, number 2 overall in the 2019 NFL draft. The 49ers select Nick Bosa, Ohio State. And then it's going to be hilarious because you're going to get like millions on the Bosa side. Oh! And you got millions on the Allen side. Oh, man, no. I can't wait to see what happens. Go ahead,
You know what's crazy,
Cardinals.
Ronbo?
Beat.
You know what's crazy about that? You
What?
know what's crazy about that? It reminds me of the draft that Solomon Thomas was in. It seems like it was half and half. Half the people wanted Jamal Adams, half people wanted Solomon Thomas.
Yep.
It kind of seems that way.
It is just,
Either Boza or Allen. Yeah.
yeah. It's between those two. There's a few that
Quentin Williams.
Ja'Kai Polite already took himself out yesterday, crying about,
Yeah.
man, the 49ers didn't want to even talk about football, man. They just came in there bashing me, man. Only people treated me nice was the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah, you see
I
that,
like
man.
McVay.
I feel getting too soft, man. Like, come on, like, who cares? People need to take constructive criticism. Yeah, I saw that article. He was like, the
Right.
Rams didn't bash me, and yeah,
I
you need to man
Ja'Kai,
up.
man up, dude. You crying to the media about how they treated you so
Yeah,
bad. You prima
yeah.
donna, man. You good, but you need to, man. And the second round pick at number 36, offensive guard Chris Lindstrom out of Boston College. And the third pick will be traded, number 67, third round pick, will be sent to the Cincinnati Bengals for wide receiver John Ross. Fourth round pick, 104 linebacker Christian Miller, home of where linebackers are built, Lou Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. And sixth round pick, 176 cornerback Jamal Peters, SEC, Mississippi. And sixth round pick, he's an offensive tackle. His name is Tyler Romer. He's from San Diego State. And he is our last pick, unless, of course, the 49ers start trading back up and doing crazy things, as our GM may do at any moment. You can see him now. Somebody whispers over, John, DK Metcalf is still alive. What? DK's still alive. What? I said DK's still alive. You want everybody to hear me? Okay. Okay, Kyle, get over here. I can just see it now. See, DK is like maybe being overrated, and we've seen this too many times. We've seen guys that go wild in the combine, and then they disappear when they do get drafted into the pros. John Ross owned the combine a few years ago, and he got with the wrong handlers, and he couldn't get things started. But with Kyle Shanahan, you're right. John Ross becomes instantly a howitzer. Well, we've seen this before. Every year the combine has some guy that goes nuts, and then they fizzle out. So, but I have a feeling DK, if he did come to the 49ers, they would not mishandle him, and he would end up being. I mean, I think he might be a beast. But anyway, trades up, trades down. We'll have to wait and see on that. Good stuff. Let me get some questions here. We got Ross's question. Yeah, he already answered that one. Let's go to Sandro Velibit. He says, what do you think about trading down and picking Brian Burns, the edge from FSU, and then using our second round pick to get a receiver, and then get an offensive lineman, a quarterback with our second round pick? Did you get all that? It seems like there's something confused there, but did you get it? Okay.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Well, my answer to that is I think San Francisco finally needs to hit in the draft and get a blue chip player. I think we all thought we had that, and Reuben Foster didn't work out right. But I mean, trading back, I think if you don't get Allen or Bosa, or even if you want to go inside and go Quentin Williams, I think there's a big drop off after those three. So I think if you have the chance to grab one of those three players, especially Nick Bosa, I mean, like I said earlier, he's the type of person, if you pass on and he's 12, I mean, let's just say 12 to 15 sacks a year, he's the type of person that'll get you fired because he's just a monster. So no, I mean, yeah, I want to trade. I kind of thought about trading back too, because in there, but because we don't have much draft capital. But I just think Nick Bosa, you have to pick him if he's there at number 2. Now, if he's gone, maybe there's a discussion. But even if we go back to like 6 or 7, I'm still not picking somebody like Metcalf that early. And I don't. And not
No,
just
no,
I
no,
was
no,
telling
no, no,
somebody.
no.
That's what I'm saying. I was telling somebody earlier because everybody's so enamored with him right now. But I'm like, if you notice Kyle Shanahan's his history of drafting wide receivers, he likes receivers with fast 3-cone drills. He likes people that are in and out of their breaks really
In
fast.
and out of the
And
routes quickly. That's right.
yes,
That's
and
true.
DK Metcalf had a 7.3 3-cone. That's pretty
He
slow.
was
I mean,
third
yeah,
worst.
it's probably
Wait.
third way. I mean, it could be his size because he's so bulky,
Yeah.
but I'm sure Kyle will find a way to use him, but he was slow in that aspect, and that's not Kyle's game. He likes people
Yeah.
fast on the route, so
In and
that's just
out
my
of.
opinion. But yeah, but no, but to answer your question in the short term, yeah, you stay at number 2 and draft Bosa, in my opinion.
There you go. Yeah, DK does. DK's hips, boy, you can hear them popping as he's trying to make them quick pivots. But you get that moose running straight down the field at 100 miles an hour.
Yes.
God bless the safety or corner that's all there by itself. And the linebacker needs to be careful, too. At that speed and that size, that is scary. If you'd like to call in, we put the PIN number in. You can voice your question to our GM yourself. The PIN number's there in the app, Ronbo Sports app. Just get in there and you'll see that, and you can call right in. Isa Fresh wants to know if both Bosa and Allen are available at number 2. See, he's pretty much answered that question. He's taking Nick. Although
Yes.
it's pretty funny because if anybody's gonna, it'd be Taryn. If in the first round people say, Cardinals gonna take Bosa. Listen, I don't know if you agree with me on this or not, but does Bosa or Allen fit what the Cardinals do defensively?
I think anybody can make them fit their scheme because I think because Josh Allen's pretty versatile. He can stand up and put his hand in the ground. But I think they have more of a need for inside. Chandler Jones is good. They have a decent pass rush. I think
True.
the middle is where they lack. So I think if they did go D lineman, I'm pretty sure Quentin Williams would go before Bosa out there. But I mean, who knows? It's kind of hard to say. But I think if I'm Arizona, if you want to make the smart pick, you're going Quentin Williams because he'll picking him would give your line everything it needs. If that makes sense. So
Yeah, him and Chandler Jones would be just awful. I got to tell you, Darren, I'm not crazy, and I know it's going to happen. I'm not crazy at all about Mrs. Murray's baby boy going to Arizona either, because you see, that means we have to deal with 2 Russell Wilson-like people for 4 games. See, this is not, especially with Kingsbury's offense. So people think I'm for the deal because I keep telling Big Show, man, Show, because Big Show doesn't like Nick Bosa. I'm telling you right now, Bosa will be available at number 2. Kingsbury is going to have his guy. If I'm the owner or GM, why would I deny him his man? And he's right there with number 1 pick. We don't plan on being the number 1 pick every year. Give him his quarterback. So Bosa's going to be there between the 2. And you picked the right one as far as I'm concerned. Nick Bosa is the right one, the tactician. He's going to be able to do it, as you said, double teams and all that stuff. Please double team him. Or double team Defoe. That's okay.
Exactly.
Your quarterback is dead meat. So that's exactly
what you got to pick and choose your battles on that defensive line. And like I said, you got we know if we bring in Zadarius Smith to put his hand on the ground, you got him to deal with too because he had 8.5 sacks last year. So I mean that line would be something fierce if we can get Bosa and Smith. That just would be ugly, and it would help every level of the defense.
Bring Zadarius in and put him on the big end. I have there's so many things you can do if you got 2 guys like that, and then maybe there's so many options that way. NFC West says John Ross. He doesn't like that. He says we got speed. We need a tall, physical wide receiver with hands, knows how to box out and great in the red zone. JC Whiteside's getting a lot of love lately. Thanks, NFC West Nemesis. I've noticed he gets. I looked at him, but I didn't have him high on my list. I had some other big men that aren't as good as Wait a minute, what's the best tall wide receiver? I had DK. DK's always been my guy, but that cone drill kind of scares me. But everybody likes Hakeem Butler as well. He's a fan favorite. But they say you can get Hakeem. You can wait till the third or fourth round. I still find that intriguing. Why do the experts think that he's that bad? You shedding light on that?
Yeah. And what receiver are they talking about? I kind of didn't hear because you went from talking about John Ross to somebody else. So
yeah, no, they were saying John Ross is not the people's choice here. Once the NFC West nemesis thinks that, why not get a big guy? Because a lot of people, and you addressed it kind of earlier, get a big guy. We got plenty of quick, fast guys.
Well, the thing is, and like I had mentioned earlier, a big guy to me doesn't do anything. People say, "Oh, we need a big guy for the red zone." Not if you can get open. If you run great routes and you can get open, look at Dante Pettis, 6'1", barely sniffing 200 pounds. He was a beast. I mean, you get somebody like that, and everybody forgets. Okay, remember Marquise Goodwin when we first got him?
I was getting ready to bring his name up.
All he did was go routes. Kyle Shanahan brought him in, and now he's a route runner. He gets into soft coverages. He knows how to get open. He runs pretty decent routes now. I think the same thing with John Ross. And I think if you bring in somebody like that, I get we have speed, but that's something you can't coach. I think you look at a team like a Kansas City Chiefs or whatever the case may be. You have Ross, Marquise Goodwin both in there, and with Wes Welker being there, he's going to help out the receivers. That's being overlooked. Wes Welker is going to be a great wide receivers coach, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So I think bring in John Ross. I don't think, to me, the size doesn't matter. If you look at the NFL right now, top 5 receivers, you can argue that they're all small. Odell Beckham is small. Antonio Brown is small. You know what I mean? Like, you can't. I mean,
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill is small. T.Y. Hilton is small. So you can't. You know what I mean? And he's a monster. So you got. To me, I don't know. Everybody has their own opinion. To me, I don't think we need a big receiver. And I already mentioned earlier, we bring in Safarian Jenkins, 6'6" tight end, to play along George Kittle whenever we bring the 2 tight end sets. You're going to use that for the red zone. But to me, I don't think it really matters. You got somebody like Kelvin Benjamin. He's tall. He's not a red zone threat.
Boy, that's one of the worst. Boy, that's the biggest waste of big body in the world. That's why Kyle Shanahan has re-educated me on that, too. I used to be with the big guy crowd, too. But, man, get big guys, them 50-50 balls, that means he's got a chance, and so does the defensive back. I don't like that. Exactly. And the next time I see a fade route thrown in the end zone, I think I'm going to lose my mind. Those rarely work. And so if I'm going to get a big guy, I go and get Hoxson. There's somebody who's going to go in there and physically gronk somebody to death and get the ball. But otherwise, wide receiver, oh, man.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, if I can bring a Mike Evans to my team, a Michael Thomas, I'd do it in a heartbeat. But those guys are just not there. DK Metcalf is not there. There's none available in free agency. Now, don't get me wrong. Julio Jones is available in free agency, or Michael Thomas. I'm going after them over anybody, but they're not there.
Those guys have speed.
You got a Devontae Parker. Yeah, you can bring him in. He's big, but what has he done? You know what I mean? I mean, there's Kevin White from the Bears.
In fact, they're getting ready to release him, I think. Isn't Parker one of the guys getting released?
Yeah, I think the Dolphins didn't pick up his option. Is going to make him a free agent. I mean, he has size. He's 6'3", 215. But that doesn't matter to me because in this system, you have to be a route runner. And I think with John Ross, he already knows how to run routes. Everybody thinks he's a go. People think fast and go route. That's all they can do. That's not true. John Ross can run routes. You bring him in, and if Shanahan can fix little kinks for a 3rd-round pick, I think you have to jump on that deal. I think it's a steal, in my opinion. To me, like I said earlier, John Ross for a 3rd-round pick to me is better value than Riley Ridley with a 2nd-round pick, or DK Metcalf with the 15th pick, whatever you want to say. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just
I understand it. And speed rules in Shanahan's system. But NFC West Nemesis also wants to know, everyone forgets our wide receivers don't score inside the 20, need strength and height. But again, NFC West, like he points out, though, strength and height hasn't been making any. And George Kittle's big. I mean, George Kittle may as well be considered a wide receiver with the size and speed. He gets inside, but still, the guy who does a number is 6'1". My guy, Kendrick Bourne, who runs those razor sharp routes and all of a sudden floats into the back of the end zone. It's what you know what, Taryn. I don't know if you agree with me with this. It's about the quarterback more than it is the wide receiver almost. The wide
Absolutely.
receiver is going to give options at a certain point in time. Your timing as a quarterback and your ability to read and react quickly is what usually scores touchdowns. Because we've seen Jimmy G run down the sideline, drag the defense into submission. All of a sudden, there's Taylor, there's Bourne, there's Selleck. These things are developed by the quarterback. It's a 50-50 thing between the quarterback and the wide receiver. Russell Wilson makes a living on this. He doesn't have any tall people. They got rid of their last tall guy, you know. So that's what it comes down to, I think. Yeah.
Yep. No, I agree. But I just think, I don't know, I just think you bring somebody in like that, I think it'll change the offense dramatically because, like I said, you do a 3-receiver set with the tight end, who are you going to cover? That's a tough cover right there to try to, because even if let's just say you want to play a game and just be like, okay, I'm sending both John Ross and Marquise Goodwin on goal routes. You're not going to double team both of them.
Better not.
You
Because
can't double team both
there's
of them.
Selleck.
You're going to put both safeties. You're going to put both safeties on each receiver. That's going to leave open everything up in the middle, and George Kittle's going to eat all day. Him or Pettis.
It's scheme. It's always about the scheme.
It is.
It's not physical as much as it is the scheme and how badly the DC on the other side of the field just got owned. Let's see. It's John Haynes says, who is your pick if Bosa is gone? Did we address that? Okay. What are you going to do if Bosa is gone?
Yeah. I'd probably go Josh Allen if Bosa's not there, or I'd even be looking to open up for trades because I think, to me, Bosa's head and shoulders over Josh Allen. Josh Allen, I mean, who knows? 3 years he could be better than Bosa if he learns technique because he's with the physical skills are there. He's faster, probably. I don't even know if he's stronger than him, but he is a physical freak. But I think To me, with Josh Allen, he scares me because he could be a great player or he could be a bust.
Yeah, because I don't want any more Corey Lemoniers.
And I don't think Nick Bosa will be a bust. So I'm going the safer route, 1, and 2. I just think right away Nick Bosa can help this team out more, and he still has the potential to get better. He hasn't hit his ceiling yet either.
No,
but
he's still
I think
no
Josh
grown
Allen's
man
a
strength or anything.
guy. Yeah, he's a 50-50 guy to me. He scares me, to be honest. I think Quinnen Williams is safer than even Josh Allen.
Hey, you're right, because Quinnen Williams, actually, look for Quinnen Williams' stock to rise, and also the guy that really scares me is Montez Sweat, only because I've seen Montez get handled in the Senior Bowl by a good offensive lineman, but nothing like what he's going to see in the NFL. So he's possibly the fool's gold. If Montez is still around in the second round, maybe we can teach him technique because that speed is pretty good. Cone drill, I don't know how he did in that, but he's going to get a lot of attention now. His stock's going to rise just like Solomon Thomas's did after the combine. Montez Sweat is going to end up being around number 4, number 5 within another week or two. So don't buy it.
And I think if we do go Quinnen Williams at number 2, if Bosa's not there, even if Bosa is there and they decide to go a different route, I think if that's the case, I think somebody is definitely getting traded. Either Solomon Thomas, Armstead, somebody. You have to get rid of somebody
because you don't need.
You don't need. Yeah, that's too much interior help, in my opinion. But but to answer your question, so I'll backtrack. I'll go Bosa, then probably Williams, then Allen, and then Gary. To me, is kind of, I don't know. He's kind of either way too. He can go both ways, either be a bust or not. And I'm a Wolverines fan, so I've seen Gary play, but sometimes he disappears.
Yeah, right. That's been said by several people. Gary takes plays off. So
exactly.
Yeah. He probably just needs to lose a little weight. John Reyes wants to know: would you trade CJ for a 6th-round pick?
Yes. I definitely would because
didn't even have to hesitate.
I definitely would. First of all, it gives us another draft pick to help us out, and plus 2, I mean, if we want a 3rd quarterback, we can bring back Tom Savage. Tom Savage.
I keep forgetting about Savage. Is still waiting.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to trade him, if Tom Savage, I mean, they brought him back 3 times, I think it was.
At least. There's a good trivia question. How many times have the 49ers drop Savage, and bring him back.
Yeah, I want to say it was at least twice for sure, but it might have even been 3 times. But
I'm sure it
um,
was 3
I
for
mean,
sure. Could have been more.
I'd rather have Beathard and no draft pick than I'd rather have Tom Savage and a draft pick than CJ Beathard without one. If that answers your question.
CJ, look out for the rise of CJ come preseason. He's been embarrassed and talked about bad enough. He's going to come out. He's going to stop taking the whole day to make his decisions. That thing that he's got about showing how hard he can get tackled and still stand up, he's done with that. Because his wife probably said, listen, would you please, CJ, listen to me. Would you please watch me, his wife, scramble out of the pocket, step forward, and you can see better, and those guys won't knock you dead. CJ, I need my husband to be able to come home after work. Can you understand what I'm saying? You know,
And I think the thing with CJ, like he's shown flashes to be a serviceable backup, but to me, he just holds onto the ball way too long. He doesn't make quick decisions like Nick Mullins does. Nick Mullins, Nick Mullins goes with the safest play. Oh, he's open. I don't care if it's 2 yards. If you're open, you're getting the football.
Do it. And you know, just from what you said, I realize what CJ's doing.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Say you let the receiver do their job. That's what they get paid for. If they're open, I don't care if it's 2 yards away from you. Give them the ball. Let them juke somebody, spin move, stiff arm, whatever the case may be. That's what they get paid for. Mm-hmm. Let them do their job once they get the ball in their hands.
Right. And don't worry about people saying, he ain't nothing but a check down quarterback. He's a quarterback that knows get rid of the damn ball. That's the point.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Hey, and I already know what CJ's doing because CJ is standing there. He missed his first read. You can every now and then you could see it. He missed the first read. He's hoping something will open up. CJ, this is what I mean by process and react. It's like you said, Nick Mullins, as soon as he sees that hole, he's got his guy already figured out because he's read the defense from the last 2 plays. You should get a feel for it as a quarterback. You know what they're going to do.
Absolutely.
If you see that, hit him. Don't wait for the next read. You can't go for the home run every time. CJ, come on, man.
I mean, it's just funny, too. It's just like, I mean, it's hard for me to say I never played quarterback. I was a fullback and a linebacker. So, but at the same time, it's like it's not brain surgery. The man is open. Throw him the ball. I don't care if first read, second, whatever the case may be. There's too much hesitation in CJ Beathard's game.
Oh, God. NFC West is still saying JJ compared to Mike Evans. I think NFC West, our nemesis, our friend is JJ Arcega's agent in here. West, you like Arcega. I like him too, though. Let's thanks for the contribution, fam. And also, Cali Style says, would we trade for Ross when we have enough slot receivers? Yeah.
Well,
the designation. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Marquise Goodwin has shown to be more than just a slot receiver.
Yeah.
He's been an outside guy. Dante Pettis plays on the outside. Even if you do have Ross as your third guy, whatever the case may be, but I don't agree that. I mean, I don't know what you're saying. I don't know if you're just saying all of our guys are just slot guys or what, but Pettis and Marquise Goodwin can definitely play on the outside. So I don't think that's very accurate to think that's all they can do. So I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm hearing this wrong, but yeah.
No, I agree. And a lot of people, they designate your size as being a slot. If you're not over 5'9", there's been some very big guys. A lot of people aren't probably aware of the fact. Do you know that Vance McDonald played the slot in college? Yeah, it's not about the size. Actually, I understand that Shanahan interviewed Isabella too. These guys aren't all going to play slot. You know, just because your height is not something Shanahan. Again, Shanahan wants you to get in routes, get out of routes. Jimmy G's gonna be standing there. He's gonna be throwing the ball into space, and timing routes and things like that. Your big guys aren't always good at that. Some are, you know, like Julio and guys like that. But some you got to wait for. Tick, tick, tick. I see him. He can get this. But when you got guys good like Goodwin, which was Jimmy G's bread and butter guy at the end of 2017. When you got people, now the thing is, when you look at Dante's route running he's out there abusing that defender so badly. If I'm the quarterback, I just sit there and watch that and marvel at it for a minute. That's how you get caught. Because Dante Pettis' routes are wicked. Oh, God.
So no, he's a technician.
Yeah.
I mean, if you remember too, do you remember that that Packers game we played, was it Sunday night or Monday Night Football, whatever? I know it was prime time, whatever game it was.
Monday night.
Marquise Goodwin had a heck of a game, and all his routes were from the outside.
Yeah.
He was killing them from the outside. So to say, we have too many slot guys, I don't think that's very accurate, because I think John Ross can play on the outside as well. So that's just my opinion.
And all these guys run the complete route tree. That's the thing you look at, not his size. Because I mean, just like you mentioned too, what's his Doug? The Seahawks wide receiver, Doug
Baldwin.
Baldwin. Baldwin's not a big guy. Baldwin's the most dangerous weapon. One of the most dangerous weapons in the NFC West. So you can't just attribute size to where you're going to play a guy, especially wide receivers. So that makes sense.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, him and Tyler Lockett are both under 6 foot, if I can remember correctly.
Oh, Tyler Lockett's definitely tiny.
Tyler Lockett's like 5'10", but I think
max.
Doug Baldwin's might be like 5'11". He's not that tall either.
Yeah, and Tyler Lockett, he gets away on us every time we play the Seahawks. Lockett kills us deep. So
Every
tired
time.
of that, I don't know what to do. Okay, I don't want to go in that mood again. The question is, if Bosa, can you trade back so you can? I think we just did that, right? Okay. Anyway, question 6. I thought we just answered this. If Bosa's gone, would you trade back so you can get an extra second, a lot of talent in the second? I think we did that. I think with second, third round this year, and you suggest that why you want quality picks this year, not quantity, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Let's go to the next one. Adam Perry, would you sign Crabtree? Would you sign Crabtree if we don't get Antonio Brown? And we ain't getting Antonio Brown. So you get Crabtree?
No, I'm not.
People need to realize Antonio Brown, the bravado he's putting out there, Night of Fam, come on now. You really think, if we get him, I'll apologize, but do you really think that John Lynch wants to go through this? I can't imagine that. And Kyle's going to say, I don't want any guys that are going to come in and hurt the locker room as soon as we lose 1 or 2 games in a row, or 2 games or 3 games in a row. And we don't want to lose that many games in a row, but still, these guys are kind of high risk and high payment. So, but Crabtree is an interesting question. Now, why would you not want to hire Crabtree, GM?
I don't know. I think we're past that chapter. I don't think he's needed on this team for that. I mean, we have too many guys to him. I think Kendrick Bourne is probably on par with Michael Crabtree. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's as good. I mean, Crabtree does get open. He's a great red zone receiver, but I think that chapter has gone. Plus,
he used to be.
Him and Sherman might get into a fist fight or something anyways. I don't know.
Especially in practice. I can just see Rich now. You know what? That's what your problem is. I've been doing. You know what? How many more years am I older now? And I'm still doing the same thing to you. You doing the same silly ass moves. I'm telling you right now. I ain't go. You know what? Who you talking to, man? And I can see Crabtree not taking exception. It gets really funny because they get serious in Seattle. But I heard with practice, that's why you see the fights break out. So Crabtree, Talib, and Sherman. You don't want to put them 3 people in the same room. You know, somebody's gonna say the wrong thing.
And to be honest, who I did look at, he's not a big name receiver. People probably don't even know who he is. But when I was looking at the free agent list for a wide receiver, he had a pretty solid year with Aaron Rodgers, but he got hurt towards the end. That was Geronimo Allison. Do you know who that is?
I remember the name.
Yeah, he's pretty big. He's everybody wants a big receiver. He's like 6'3", 205, but he runs great routes and has pretty good hands too. He was pretty solid for them last year. Him and Devontae Adams were like the top 2 receivers for a while, but I mean, he's pretty good, but I was going to bring him on a cheap deal if we couldn't find a receiver. But yeah, I was going to bring him in, but yeah, I don't know. And I think we're done with Crabtree. How is he going to be now? Like 30? Is he going to be in his 30s? I think I'm tired. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of I mean, don't get me wrong, of the Pierre Garçons and bringing in these older dudes. I think we need to have, because I think what happens is you bring somebody in. Let's just say even if we did bring in Antonio Brown or whatever the case may be, it could be 2 years before we're actually, Super Bowl contenders, and then he's hitting his past his prime, and he's about to be. He's not as good as he used to be. But I think if you bring somebody younger in that can grow with the offense, I think that'll help the team. That'll help the team more, And plus, 2 people forget John Ross and Dante Pettis played together at Washington. They were teammates.
That would be
I think you
interesting.
bring them in. I think they motivate each other. They play well together. So I don't know, but yeah,
And as far as big guys go, the guy that's going to get Shanahan's attention is going to be Tyrell Williams. Now, Williams
yeah,
is going to get a lot of attention in a few, if he hasn't already, in another week or so. So, well, Williams is a free. I guess it's not legal. Anyway, Williams has speed and size. Now, if you're talking about a
he
big guy,
does.
that
He's at 6'5",
works.
right?
6'4". I
Six
think he
four, six
runs.
five. Yeah.
Yeah, he runs a 4.4. Now
Mm-hmm.
that's the kind of guy that they're so loaded with the Chargers. Uh, Cortland Sutton took him out. Not Cortland Sutton. Who's Mike Williams? Sort of
Mike
has
Williams
really
and
become
Keenan
the guy,
Allen, and
right? Yeah, Keenan Allen and
yeah,
Mark. So Terrell, his contract's up. Said, Terrell, man, we ain't gonna make you wait, man. Go ahead, man. See what you can find, man. Hey, can you pay for it? No, yeah, I know. Okay. So
and I
he,
think and
he
I think and I think he may command some decent amount of money too.
yeah.
So I don't know.
But
So
if you lose Garcon's contract, you pick him up and add. It's mathematically, if you would have kept Garcon, if Garcon would have been healthy, I think Shanahan would have stuck with him just because of his toughness and his ability to
uh,
to roll in Shanahan's system. But he was starting to get slower. He lost a step,
yeah,
and so yeah.
starting to
Anyway,
be injury prone. So
yeah,
yeah,
badly.
that yes.
Oh God! So and this, I guess, Callie said we already answered this. Who should your number one target be for free agency? You just gonna review that though. Who was your number one target in free agency again?
My number one target was Anthony Barr, linebacker. I went with him because, like I said, one I think he was like number 15th on the list for best free agents, but I think the top 10 guys are gonna command a lot of money. I think that the DeMarcus Lawrence's, if he doesn't get tagged, Jadeveon Clowney, if you don't get Frank Clark. I mean, those are all three guys I'd love to have. But I think the Texans have pretty good money too. I think Texans are like right after us or pretty close to us in money available. So I think
Mm,
he's going to stay.
mm,
Frank Clark ain't going nowhere. So, but like
yeah.
I said earlier too, I don't want to spend too big because I think they need to be in the works right now, giving DeForest Buckner his extension.
Mm.
He deserves a nice extension. So I don't want to break the bank with
Jeopardize,
two
yeah,
free
having
agents.
that
Yeah,
be
two
because
free agents, and then you got to pay him. And like I said, after next year, you got to pay George Kittle. So I don't know. That's just my
Taryn,
opinion.
who would come and steal DeForest Buckner from us right away if we couldn't pay him? We got into an arbitration deal, and Buckner's people weren't happy. 49ers are trying to say we can do this, this, and this. We can put this. Who would come after Buckner first?
Hmm, maybe the Raiders might want to steal him.
Why did I? Yes.
The Raiders probably want to steal him, and like I said, Colts have 100 million cap space.
Oh,
Colts are killing it. I mean, it's
but that,
ridiculous at a team.
yeah,
That's ridiculous at a team that good. What, they went second round of the playoffs? I mean
yeah.
they played the Texans first round and they killed them 21-3. Went in the second round and got beat by the Chiefs. But for a team that was that good to have that much cap space is scary. So I think the Colts might be like, look, I'll give you a first round pick. Send them this way. I got the money to pay them.
They
So
would, man, because the Buckner's gonna
yeah.
be, he's gonna be high in the mark. A couple more here before we run out of time here, but I love this question though. Quester6 wants to know: would you take Devin White if you traded back if Bosa is gone at 1? He's the best inside linebacker in the draft. A gorilla with a jetpack. What did Devin run? Did he run? He ran the fastest time in combine history for a linebacker. Devin was jamming down that track. I've
Was it four
watched
four
him.
one?
Huh?
Was it 4-4-1 or something like that?
Devin, God, you ever watch a game with LSU and watch Devin? I mean, the dude, I thought he was that fast, but I thought maybe, well, on the camera, maybe he looks that quick. This dude can zip. He don't run. He zips from one place to another. And that speed is real. 4.41. He's got short area quickness, and apparently he's got a lot of endurance. So, but what's your feeling?
So yeah, actually, Devin White's probably my favorite player in the draft. Actually,
Yeah.
um,
Oh, woo.
so let's just say Arizona takes Kyler Murray, and then the Giants are picking 6, and they get scared, and they say, "Man, I'm scared. I'm going to get jumped because somebody wants Dwayne Haskins."
Yep.
And the Giants come a calling and say, "I'll give you 6 for 2, and player fill-ins and picks or whatever the case may be." Then, if that's the case, if they do decide to trade and they get him, then if Devin White's there at 6, that's who I'm taking.
Yeah. Hey, you
I
know
think
what?
him and Fred Warner.
Oh. Oh.
Man. And then if
Oh.
you bring in Anthony Barr in free agency, that linebacking core, ridiculous.
Wow. God. Okay. And one last question. Adam Perry says, "Who do you hate more?" This is okay. It wasn't who do you hate between the Raiders and the Seahawks. The worst.
Who do I hate more?
Yeah.
I hate the Seahawks more. Like, it used to be the Raiders, but I hate the Seahawks more because this is what made me hate them the most, regardless of them being a division rival. When Navarro Bowman was getting taken out on a gurney on the stretcher, and they were throwing beer bottles and stuff at him, the fans.
Yeah.
That made me hate them even more. Like, to see if I was there, I definitely would have punched a fan in the face. I don't care if I got
Yeah.
it would have been worth it. Like, I don't know. That right there was just ultimate disrespect.
Bad.
And that right there made me hate. So it's the Seahawks right now.
Yeah.
But all time is Dallas, but right now it's the Seahawks.
That goes deep from way back.
Yeah.
God, Cowboys.
But yeah.
Well, hey, fam, as I say, get on over to the Ronbo Sports app and cast your vote. We got a poll set up there for today's GM, Darren. Hey, Darren, good stuff, man.
Yes,
I enjoyed that.
Thanks, man.
Great question.
I knew people weren't going to agree with the John Ross thing, but
you could
but I
be
had
honest
to break
though.
it down of why I wanted them. So yeah.
Because when you think of the coach involved here, this is the heartbeat of that offense. Kyle Shanahan needs quickness and guys who can execute his offense. You can't be too slow. You can't be too big unless you can move. Because with Julio, Julio can move.
Yeah.
And that's why you work with Julio. But still, and a lot of people. I got to thinking the other day where every offense Shanahan's ever had a number one big man or had a number one receiver. I said, Shanahan had seen some big man last 2 years. You notice he didn't bite? What Shanahan's building is his idea of a good team or that fits his offensive system. What he did when he was in OC was inherit an already built offense. So he did what he had to do. But this is his team.
I agree.
So, yeah. Hey, all right. Darren, man, holla out with me, man. I'm going to count 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. I know! 49ers! Yo! Darren, thanks, fam.
Yes, sir. Hey, thanks for having me on, man. Anytime.
Appreciate you, fam.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Don't forget to hit that like. I see you leaving. Hit that like, y'all. Okay.